All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to talk about a massive shift, how we can get from a world that feels completely tangled up in crisis to one that's actually built on purpose and, well, regeneration. It's really a journey from a problem I think we all feel to a solution we can all be a part of.
So let's start with a question that I bet has crossed your mind, probably more than once. Why does it feel like everything is going wrong all at once? Like every single problem just makes another one worse?
Well, the simple and maybe a little unsettling answer is yeah, they are. That feeling you have, it's spot on. What we're going through isn't just a string of bad luck. This whole situation actually has a name, the Polycrisis. And here's the key idea to grasp. We're not just dealing with a list of separate problems, like climate change here, economic instability over there. Nope. We're facing one single condition where all these huge issues are so tangled up that they just feed off each other, making everything worse. And this isn't just some abstract theory, right? It's a real-world domino effect we can see happening right now. Think about it. Climate instability forces people to move. This mass migration puts a huge strain on governments. Those strained governments can't act fast enough on the next crisis. That delay leads to more catastrophe, which, you guessed it, fuels more fear. And that fear just destroys the trust we need to actually work together and solve the problem in the first place. See? It's a vicious cycle.
So, if the polycrisis is the symptom, what's the disease? What's the real root cause? Well, it seems to come down to our mindset, a really deep-seated fear that causes us to break everything apart, to build a world out of isolated boxes. If you look at it from a high level, our whole global system is kind of built on these old unconscious survival instincts. This fear-based programming was super helpful way back when, but now in our complex, totally interconnected world, it's actually driving us straight into these massive planetary problems.
And what does fear do? It makes us retreat. It makes us build walls. We create these boxes, institutions that don't talk to each other, industries that only compete instead of cooperating, and communities that just close themselves off. The thing is, you just can't solve interconnected problems when you're stuck inside isolated boxes. And here's the contrast, laid out plain and simple. On one side, you have the world of boxes. It runs on extraction, on competition, on short-term thinking, and siloed decisions. But the alternative, this regenerative world, it's built on a totally different logic: regeneration, cooperation, long-term planetary health, and coordinated collective intelligence. It's a whole different game. Okay, so that's the problem. But what's the alternative? If the problem is that we keep building boxes, then the solution has to be about consciously creating something new, together. It's a path built on collaboration and, well, symbiosis. So the metaphor to counter the world of boxes is a garden. Think about it for a second. A garden isn't just a collection of separate plants, right? It's a whole ecosystem. It thrives because of interconnection, mutual support, and constant regeneration. And that's the goal here, to create a state of healthy symbiosis where both humanity and the Earth can thrive together. Intending this garden means we need a whole new set of rules to play by. We have to learn to see the whole system, beyond the walls of our own little boxes. We have to shift our economies from just taking things out of the ground to actually regenerating the planet. We've got to replace our us versus them tribalism with real synergy and design systems that actually reward us for cooperating in a way that helps the planet. Now, this all sounds great, maybe even a little idealistic, but how do we actually build it? This isn't just a philosophy. Let's take a look at the real practical tools that are being designed to create the infrastructure for this new world. So this is the Phoenix platform. You can kind of think of it as a new operating system for civilization. It's a digital foundation designed to make the huge-scale conscious collaboration we need possible. And it does this by supporting 7 key abilities, things like making sense of the world together, making wise decisions, and taking coordinated action, all the stuff we need to truly flourish. Now, at the very heart of the Phoenix platform is something called the Synergy Engine. If Phoenix is the body, the Synergy Engine is its nervous system. It's the core intelligence, an AI-enhanced system that's designed to do one absolutely crucial thing: weave all of our separate people, resources, and projects together into one coherent, collaborative whole. So what does it actually do? Well, first, it maps out the entire ecosystem of people taking action. So for the first time, we can actually see who is doing what where. Then it finds where different missions overlap and who has skills that complement each other.
This helps cut down on all the wasted, redundant effort, and maybe most importantly, it speeds up the whole cycle from learning something new to actually taking effective, coordinated action on it. So, with the problem laid out and the tools in place, what kind of world does this all lead to? What's the big picture? Let's look at the vision for this future of synergy. The end result is something called murmuration. If you've ever seen a huge flock of starlings in the sky, you know exactly what this is. Thousands of birds moving as one single fluid organism. There's no single leader yelling out orders. It's a state of incredible coherence, a kind of collective swarm intelligence where everyone's individual actions create this beautiful, amplified whole. And what this leads to, ultimately, is a totally new kind of civilization. One where our economies are actually designed to heal the planet, not just take from it. One where our governments operate within the Earth's natural limits, where working together across nations and cultures is just the normal way of doing things, and where the main goal is the flourishing of both people and the planet. So really, we're left with a pretty fundamental choice. Do we keep building our boxes, competing inside our silos until there's nothing left to fight over? Or do we learn to step out, together, and start tending the garden of a regenerative future? The plans are being drawn up, the choice to build it is ours.